Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Administrator Guzman, I want to thank you for what you're trying to do to help small businesses after 3 terrible years for all of us, for small business owners. And I know nothing is perfect, but I know your head and heart are in the right place. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming to Minnesota just last week, spending time with me. Did an on-the-job with Dean at Tierra Encantada. Had lunch at Duke's on 7, a recipient of PPP loans, and then had a great roundtable where you heard directly from a number of stakeholders and particularly about my personal mission to help expand employee ownership of enterprises. So I'd like to begin by simply asking you about your perspective on employee ownership, what the SBA and you are doing to promote it. I believe it's an extraordinary intersection between Democrats and Republicans to build wealth for hardworking people who contribute to economic success. And as all the evidence indicates, it actually is accretive to business performance. So just love your thoughts on the subject and what the SBA is doing, and most importantly, what we can do to help you do more to incentivize, promote, and support employee ownership.
Well, thank you for that. The employee ownership for sure is definitely a benefit to small businesses who will deploy it. Studies have shown that they have a stronger performance as the employees are vested and committed to the mission in a whole new way. I would say that on employee ownership from the SBA's perspective, we view that it's a very effective succession plan as well as businesses look to exit. So from multiple fronts, we help support small businesses in this regard. We've done it both on the technical assistance side, trying to provide knowledge and assistance sharing information about employee ownership and ESOPs through our network of resource partners to small businesses directly who are seeking alternatives. In addition, within our lending program, it's been challenging for employee owners to access the program. So we're constantly looking for ways to improve the program, not only on the lending side, but on the investment vehicles as well. And so I'm hopeful with the changes that we're making, as well as with the new interest in our SBIC program, to see progress on the capital access front.
Okay, and to that end, I mean, access to capital is the foremost challenge, as the chair, ranking member ably pointed out. The Main Street program, the 2018 program, I think has only resulted in 17 7A loans to conversions. I think that's too few. I think the SBA has acknowledged that. Would love to see incremental support for that. I also am hearing from some that losing preferred contracting status, which is something that came up in Minnesota, is an impediment. The fear that if they convert to an employee ownership model or a co-op, that they might lose preferred status. Can you speak to that? And are there some ways perhaps that we might work together to eliminate that risk and ensure that we can promote employee ownership?
Most definitely. After flagged by the constituents in your district, I'm looking into it further in terms of the contracting and certification side of SBA, the entry point for contractors. And then in addition, interested in observing and tracking the pilot that Department of Defense has deployed to try to be more inclusive of employee ownership in contracting specifically.
Is there something you might need from us to accomplish that?
At this point, I don't believe it's any statutory block, but I will, definitely follow up to see if there's a pathway on the certification specifically that could be, more specific and give us language that would help power a more inclusiveness around our certification programs for government contracting.
Okay, I appreciate that. I extend an invitation, a warm invitation to my colleagues on both sides to look for ways that we can use this platform of ours and the SBA to encourage more ownership. I see no reason why it shouldn't be a mutual goal, one to which we can work in unison, and I simply extend that invitation.
Would the gentleman yield?
I will surely yield.
I don't know for how long since we passed my legislation. Yep. We have been working hard to get more lending, because this is the problem. If we don't provide access to capital,
exactly,
it's not going to work.
And if I could add on that, and we did discuss this, but one of the big issues flagged is the personal guarantee.
Yep.
And SBA, cannot move forward on removing a personal guarantee that's core to our program. So that would be something that would need to be statutory.
So most of all, thank you for listening. Thanks for coming to Minnesota. I know you're traveling the country. I encourage other members of the committee to extend that invitation to you too and hear the same thing. Thank you. I yield back.